Normally I copy the questions.
Okay, so I'm Chelsea Chapman.
Emily Kelm.
Mary Beth Stevens.
Okay. So the first question was, so we all watched the film. Some of us saw it before. The first question we had to think about was, how effective is this organization or movement at using local communities and online tools to advocate for their cause for children?
Hold on, wait a minute. No, I didn't copy the questions. Dang it. Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat the questions. I was trying to find. I thought I copied the questions, but say that again.
Okay. How effective is this organization or movement at using local communities and online tools to advocate for their cause for children?
I don't know that I really remember anything about online, but I mean, they definitely, like, they were passing out flyers, and they were definitely in the neighborhoods and the communities and stuff. And
Okay, are those the questions for the Penn Zoo question with our interview with our person?
No, these are for the video.
Okay.
it's all about video.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really remember anything about online tools either, but I mean, that one lady, oh, now I can't remember her name.
The Washington D.C. lady.
Yeah, the one, yeah, she.
Michelle Rhee.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
I mean, she, like, yeah, whatever her name is, she kind of, you know, I feel like got the ball rolling to, like, change, you know, help make a change for the education. And I mean, I guess compared to, like, all the people that came before her, she was more effective than they were, so.
Well, the issue there was the teachers' unions. Only because I work in the school district, I'm a library clerk, so I'm not in the teachers' union, I'm in the classified union. And the teachers' union is stinking powerful. I don't know if you ladies know how politically powerful the teachers' union is nationwide. I mean, you know, she tried to make that change, and they're like, they wouldn't even let them vote on it. Even if there were people that did agree with it, I don't know if you caught that in the video, the union wouldn't allow them to vote. And I'm like, oh, the whole tenure thing bugs me because, you know, where they talked about that in that section?
Yeah.
Because it was originally set up for universities, not for public, like high school, elementary school. I mean, because my kids have had some bad teachers. I don't know if you guys had any bad teachers when you were growing up. I probably had a couple that I, you know, thought should have retired earlier. And I'm like, you cannot fire a bad teacher. I'm like, we have, I don't know how much I should tell you. We had one teacher, he's been to, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 schools, and they just keep shifting him around. And, you know, as far as, like, you know, I think there should be more merit-based pay. Like, if you're bad, you're out. But once you hit tenure, you're in, and they just ship you around. I mean, I had a principal when I started at my continuation high school, and they shipped him to us for a year. She came to me and said, Mary Beth, I don't want you ever to be alone with this man. I'm like, then what the heck is he doing on his school campus if I, as a grown-up, can't be alone? She goes, if he walks into your library, make some excuse and leave.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, well, then what the heck is he teaching for? If I was just, and they just keep shipping him around. Did we lose her?
No.
Oh, okay, I see her picture. Or she dumped her camera. Okay. Good girl, just like I did. I don't know. I was just, you know, and I know my oldest son had a bad English teacher, and she finally retired. But they are politically a very powerful union. I'm like, I would rank them up there with the, what's the trucking union? Just flew out of my head. Teamsters! Thank you. Okay. Then anyways, continue. Chelsea.
Okay. Well, this sort of goes along with the other question, but how do you see this movement strengthening the family? Is it individual or family focused? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I kind of think both in a way, but I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts before I say.
What do you mean by both?
Well, like, I feel like, I don't know, just watching the film, I kind of felt like everything related to education, it's family focused, I would say, but individual in that, I can't collect my thoughts. Individual in that, like, everyone wants their own, like, what's best for them, their own opinion, and does that make sense? Like, I'm not describing myself very well. Like, we want what's best for future generations, but everyone has their own opinion about how that should be, that should come about. So I feel like it's very, like, individualized in that way. Like, they're kind of, I don't want to say selfish, but, like, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? like the guy talking, what was his name? The black dude that he was talking about.
Something Canada, Mr. Canada, I don't know.
Yeah, him, like, just some of the things he said, I was like, okay, you make a good point, but that's, I mean, everyone has, like, their own opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I was just thinking because, like, he says, we're going to be with your child from, they started, like, the baby college or whatever, you know, from the very beginning until they go to college. We're not just, we're not just focusing on teaching them right now, right here, whatever, or making them a better student right now. We're going to stay with you forever. And, like, the way he was phrasing it was, we're going to stay with your child. But I feel like that the purpose of it was, we're staying with your child for that long in order to support your family. Kind of. Okay. So that's kind of what came to my mind anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just had, like, conflicting, like, when I watched it, I was like, okay, yeah, that's good for the family, but what about, like, with all the, that sweet girl that, wanted to be, like, a veterinarian or a doctor.
Oh, girl?
She was
Daisy.
So cute. Yeah, Daisy. And I was just like, oh, I hope she succeeds, and oh, I was like, I hope so badly that she becomes, something great, and changes, the way, like, because her dad had to drop out or whatever, and of school to help the family. I don't know, I hope that she was able to be a doctor or a veterinarian, whatever.
Well, see, I would like to see a follow-up to any of those kids. We got, that was, what year was that done? 2008, was it?
I don't know.
I can look it up.
No, I watched it a time ago.
I mean, I like my aunt, she lives in West Jordan. They had 6 kids, is that right, or 7? Dang, I forget. The first half went to public school. The second half of the kids went to a charter school because she felt like the schools weren't meeting, or the public schools weren't meeting the needs anymore. And I don't have any charter schools near me that I could have sent my kids to. But do any of you guys have any experience with charter school yourself, or siblings or anything?
I went to a magnet school.
Okay.
What's a magnet school?
It's like in the video, it was saying, like, there's a couple different types of magnet schools. There's ones that are, like, technical based, where it'll teach you how to become a fireman by the time you graduate, or there's ones that are, like, will get you really good in math or science before you graduate, and then there's some that are artsy-fartsy and just...
Now, hey, I'm artsy-fartsy. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's fine.
Don't be a hater. Okay.
I don't remember that from the video. Was that, like...
Yeah, it was in the... Because I know one of my cousins went to a magnet school in Baltimore, Maryland.
They're public schools, but you have to take like an entrance exam to get in, and they only accept like 200 students a year and things like that. And so, like, I had to get recommendation letters from my middle school teachers, but it's a public school.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that term. That's weird. I remember them talking about the dropout factories.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. Like, I wish it wasn't that way, but I mean.
Well, what's sad is, because my elementary school is K through 5, most of the 5th grade teachers will tell you, he's going to make it, she's not, she'll be pregnant, he'll be on drugs, he'll be in jail by the time they're in 5th grade. They say they can pretty much nail it on the head. And I'm like, by 5th grade? They're like, yep. And I just think that's so sad. I mean, how old are you in 5th grade? 10, 11, something like that? I'm just like, they're,
Yeah. Well, and
like,
it's like it could go two ways. You can, look at who came before you, or like your friends around you and been like, oh, they took drugs or whatever. I'm not going to be that way. Or you follow their lead. Like that one kid, that Anthony dude, like his dad died from
the
doing
little
drugs
boy,
or whatever.
sad,
That was so sad. And like he wanted to succeed in school, and I don't know. It's just that's really sad. Like watching this video, I was just thinking. I mean, I know that there are some schools out there that aren't the greatest, but I didn't think that education was. I mean, it seems so bad, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I need to homeschool my kids.
Well, because go ahead.
The school that my magnet school was located in, it had a 20% graduation rate.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Now, why do you feel it only had 20%? Was it socioeconomical based? Was it?
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, I'm from Texas, so I understand that, but because it's a kind of a weird thing. Half the teachers sucked. Because the magnet school was there. All the teachers came to our school because they wanted to teach at the magnet school to have the kids who wanted to learn, but they would force you to stay in the regular school for 2 years before you could move up to the magnet school.
Oh.
And so all the teachers just feel like they're serving their time. All right, I'm going to stick with the stupid kids for 2 years, and then I can move up to the smart kids or whatever. And so it's just awful, and it's highly racist, and because it's primarily white kids in the magnet school, and so like they weren't even allowed upstairs. Like the security guards would be like, "No, you're trespassing on the other school's property." No, I'm.
Wow.
Well, but I want to go to the library. Yeah, but you have to go up the other stairs. This stairwell is not. You're not allowed to go up here. And they would judge it completely off race, and it's good fun, but.
Well, see, like, I mean, we have we have 14 elementary schools in my school district. The 2 that are probably the lowest performing are in, poor areas, high Hispanic. Not that I'm saying all Hispanics are.
I got you.
You know what I mean? But, if little Johnny makes it to 8th grade, that's further than mom or dad made it. So they're doing good, so you don't need to go to high school. Go get a job.
Well, and ours was all black and Hispanic, and it's all very, very poor neighborhood, too.
So that kind of goes along with the other question. How did you see the various communities helping or hindering the children from reaching their potential? Like the different communities, the areas of where you live, and like that one woman was like, what can you do? This is where we live, And it's sad because, I don't know, I kind of associated, like, if it was a poor part of town or if it's really old or run down, then they don't have the greatest schools or teachers or education.
Well, see, because some of the education funds is based off, like, my property tax. Part of my, goes into the education. Well, if I live in a poor area where we don't get a lot of property tax, or I've got 5 families living in one home,
yep,
you're not getting property tax from 5 families who are attending my schools. You're only getting property tax from that one house. Yep. And henceforth that affects the funds that are coming into that school. And that's what we run into in some of the locations where our schools are at.
Well, and like the one little girl who was going to the parochial school, totally ticked you off, and they won't let her go to graduation ceremony because her mom's behind on tuition. Like, it's like she was saying, like, punish me, don't punish the child. If the semester's over, what good does it do?
Yeah.
That's stupid. That
Well,
community
see,
is not supporting the children.
yeah. And I'm like, and we have the Catholic school. Hold on, just flew out of my head. We have Notre Dame. It's a high school downtown. I mean, anybody can go there, and it's outrageously expensive to go to high school there. But I mean, they do have scholarships and things that for low social income and blah blah blah. So I mean, I guess they do try to help. I've never looked into it because that wasn't, it wasn't near me anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
like you say, that other school seems like they could have worked with her somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember the question we were just talking about. The
The
various.
communities, how they're
Oh
helping.
yeah.
How they help and how they don't help.
Well, like I was just looking up my high school graduation. Well, I couldn't find the graduation rate, but the dropout rate was like oh crap, I just closed out of it by accident. Hold on a second. Because I was like, because I just had no idea, this video really opened my eyes. Okay, so here it is. So
20-30 minutes.
dropout rates, this was in the year 2010. So it says for 4-year, it's 0.8. So, I mean, and then,
The dropout rate?
yeah,
That's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
where did you go to high school at?
in Texas, in a suburb of Dallas.
Oh. Huh.
And where was your
Um,
school at, Emily?
Huh?
Where was your school at?
Austin, the capital.
and
Majority
then
of the schools around here suck.
graduation rate. Oh, they don't have. Okay, wait. Let's look at 2010. Okay, here's the graduation rate. 97.5% all.
Holy cow.
95.9% white, 100% African American, 100% Hispanic.
Wow.
Those are good numbers.
But like for McKinney ISD, like my McKinney, my town I'm from, 89.1% is African American that graduate, 86.6 Hispanic. So it's still high, but like it's interesting to see like the different, like African American, Hispanic, and white, and comparing that. I don't know.
Well, see, and like my friend, she's a elementary school teacher out in Brea, which has more of an Asian population, but the Asian population puts a different emphasis on education culturally than even whites or Hispanics or blacks that we have,
For sure.
So I think I would have to ask her what the rate is in her area. It's like 45 minutes from my house, roughly. But anyways, you're dealing with a different, the cultural population.
Yeah.
And like on your website, you found that they broke it down.
Yeah, they broke it down.
And
they had like the standardized test passing rates and stuff as well.
Now, do you guys have to, in my area here, our kids have to take a high school exit exam?
Yeah, so do we.
Oh, did you guys? I didn't have to do that growing up.
Well, I mean, we had to take, I don't know how you define exit exam, but we took it junior year.
Well, the first year they take it is their sophomore year. There's an English portion and a math portion. You have to pass both portions, otherwise you do not get you get a certificate of completing high school, but you do not get a graduation diploma.
Interesting. I don't...
Tax.
Yeah, tax. It was just tax. I don't remember that being called like an exit exam, but I guess it kind of is. If you don't pass it, then you can't move forward.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's been in place pretty much as long as I've been here, but it used to not be. So I don't know when this district decided that, but I just, like I said, we didn't do that where I grew up at.
Okay, I read the chapter 10 of Child Family School Community Ecology of the Community. I read that like on Monday. I don't like remember it. That was so long ago.
Oh, wait a minute.
The only thing that I pulled out of it as far as like the movie goes is the socialization aspect. It kind of said that the success of the program depends on socialization, and I think that's something that the Mr. Canada's school definitely had down. They from the very beginning, it's okay, you're in this or you're out kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And all those students were putting forth their 100%.
Okay.
Because of the socialization.
Because of socialization.
Because, I mean, they gave that diagram of all the microsystems in that chapter again, which we've seen a couple different times, or I have, if it's in this class or the other class. I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. When it says socialization, when you've got 40 kids in a class, like at the high school, years ago, they just have 3 grades. Next year, this is the first time they'll have all 4 grades. But anyways, because what size was your class? Okay, when you got 40 kids in a class, obviously there can't be the individual attention as if we had 25 kids in the class.
Mm-hmm.
So how, as a teacher, I mean, I think there should be class size reduction.
Yeah.
Like, how big were your? I mean, I don't even remember because it didn't make it. It didn't matter to me. But once I had kids, I was like, dang, there's 35 kids in this class. How are you going to do 35 kindergartners? You can't.
I definitely don't remember having that. I went to elementary school in Massachusetts, so it was different there. But yeah, no, we probably had like 20 kids in the class. But I noticed when I moved to Texas, like my younger siblings, their classes were so much smaller. Like I want to say like 12 to 15 kids. Like, I don't know. To me, that's small. I'm like.
Now, see, if in my school district, if you had that few of kids, they would collapse the class and divide the kids elsewhere.
I went to a private school for elementary school, so if it got more than 10, they split the class to make it into more than 1.
Oh my gosh!
We weren't allowed to have more than 10 per class. Except
see, if we got down to 20, we lost a teacher this year. She was a 2nd grade teacher, and she got under 20 something, and they collapsed the class, shifted the kids, divided them up, and the other teachers would put their class size up, and she got sent to another school. 10 kids in a class, my teachers wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, and my private school, I mean, when I think about it now, I cannot understand why my parents were willing to pay the tuition. It was like $10,000 a year.
Wow.
Which is absurd.
For elementary?
Yeah, it was. Well, eventually the school went K through 12, but when I first started, it was 5th grade through 12th grade.
Do you feel like... Wait, do you have any siblings, Emily?
Yeah.
Did they go to private school too, or?
My 2 next oldest siblings, I'm the youngest, so 2 of my siblings did. They went to the same school as I did.
Because I was going to say, do you think that, like, it made a difference? Or you don't really know? Because you were just in private school, like, so you didn't know any better. Like, you know what I mean? Do you think it's, like, worth the tuition?
No, not personally. I don't know. Because, like, what I enjoyed about private school is because the class sizes were so small. Like, I even had class sizes of, like, 2 or 3 kids. I mean, so you definitely got the individual attention. I had teachers who would just say, okay, once you finish the book, we can do whatever you want. And so I'd finish the textbook in the first month of school, and then I picked my lessons the rest of the semester. And I mean, it was fun, and I learned what I wanted to, and that's great, but I don't know. I thought public school had its values too. You learn bigger group associations and how to deal with different situations. I don't know. I thought there was value in both, but I don't really think it's worth the tuition personally.
Well,
Yeah.
see, I mean, that's some of the issue, and I'm sorry if I step on anybody's toes, that I have with homeschooling, because you miss the socialization that you, and some of the mothers that I know that do it, well, they go to church and they get that at Mutual. No, they don't. It is not the same as if I
Yeah.
have to deal with little Johnny over here who's being a bully or doesn't believe like me or is, there's all kinds of differences you run into school that you don't run into at church, and it's not the same socialization.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had college teachers where that's the only one teaching it. I had to suck it up and deal with it, even if I didn't like them.
Yeah. Yep.
You
Yeah,
know.
I always, thought, why in the world would you homeschool your kids? Because of that socialization factor. But I mean, there's good and bad to both sides of, and same with like if you go to a private school versus public versus homeschool. But I think you have to look at it on an individual basis for the child, and every child is different. Because like I heard, like, who was it? Someone, was it a talk in church? Something, I don't know. But she was wondering if she needed to homeschool her kids, and she like went to the temple. And anyway, who was this? Was I talking to you guys about it? I don't know. But anyway, she felt really good that because she was like totally terrified. She's like, I don't want to homeschool my children. I don't know. That's like a huge deal. And then she just like became very calm because she realized she only needed to homeschool one of her children, and the rest would be fine. So I think it depends on the child and the situation and where you live and yada yada yada. So
My mom decided a bunch of her children couldn't handle 8th grade in the public school system. She's homeschooled several of her kids during 8th grade, but only 8th grade.
All
Yeah.
of you, or
I
just
know.
some of you?
Just some of us.
Oh, okay.
there was one point in high school where I was just like, this is so ridiculous. I can't believe I go to school every day because of the stupidity of the teachers, the stupidity of the students, and my classmates. They're so immature. Basically, like, I go to school and I waste my day. Like, it's horrible. And my mom was like, do you want me to, like, homeschool you for the rest of the year? And I was seriously considering it, but I was like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll just suck it up and go. And she's like, well, I'm sorry that it's so stupid for you. I'm like, it is. Like, I'm seriously, because it's literally a waste of my time. Like, if I was homeschooled for the rest of that year, I would get all my schoolwork done in, like, 2 hours and then have the rest of the day to play. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's frustrating sometimes, I think. And I know my siblings have been frustrated with it. And that's why my 15-year-old sister, she does online school, a program called K-12, and she loves it, and good for her. And like my actually he's 18 now. Oh my goodness, he just turned 18. Anyway, he's a senior, and he goes to, oh, what is it?
Doesn't
It's-
BYU have a high school online thing?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I
But what are the schools called where they just focus on like a few classes at a time, like, and then they move on to the next? Like, they do like 4 classes, and then like just for however long, and then they move to the next.
It's block
Like few.
scheduling.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
It's not. I don't know that there's a name for the school. It's just something that some schools do and some schools don't. It's block scheduling.
Because he has a short attention span. Like, if he had to be stuck in geometry for the entire year, there's no way that he would make it through. Like, he just can't handle that. So he does it, like, he focuses on it for weeks at a time, and then they move on to the next thing. So I don't know. That's good. So I think it just depends on the individual, and I mean, I learned a lot, like, from this movie that I had no idea about. So I feel more educated, and I feel like I can talk with people now about education. And I'm sure once I have children, I'll learn even more.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think that was the last question, was just, what were some of the most important insights you gained, and we kind of talked about it throughout this
Yeah.
conversation.
Because I'm just looking at my notes.
Okay, so how long has this been? Okay, yeah, so we've been chatting for
At least
about 30 minutes now. Does anyone, I don't really know how we would summarize this.
Well, it's kind of hard because we were all over the place. There's no and we came to this conclusion because there is no one answer. Like you said, it would depend on each situation. You may move to a wonderful school district when you grow up and have kids and when you get married, you are married. When you
right.
When you have kids and it could be wonderful, or you could move to a crappy school district and you're like, I'm not doing this, we're going elsewhere. So it would just depend on the situation you find yourself in when your kids start going to school.
Right, exactly.
So I don't know how we can conclude, any definite answers about anything, other than the fact that, the different insights we learned from the video and how you could apply them in, your life as you grow up, as your kids grow up and you go through different stages of school.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think that's a good summary right there, is that it depends on the child and where you live, and we learned a lot from the video, and we'll continue to learn as we have our own children and grandchildren and all that good stuff. So, the end.
The end.